What's up, everyone? Today, we're jumping straight into it. On the last episode, I briefly explored the Red Forest and entered Jupiter for the first time. My initial impressions were positive, having new larger areas to explore that felt much different than the earlier locations. By the time I entered Zaton, however, some of that positivity was fading. But hey, I did find some expert tools from my first Yellow stash there, so that was cool. Still, I couldn't help but feel like the game was beginning to buckle under the weight of its own design philosophies, and these new zones were blatantly indicative of that. However, today I'm approaching these areas with fresh eyes and a more positive outlook, ready to explore them further and not judge them too soon. After all, I did spend a long time embracing the southern region and really living life down there. So let's see what living in this mid-region is like today. The last time I played, I ran straight from the Zaton settlement into the cement factory area in Jupiter, and my game crashed while a controller pulled me in. So I know that bastard's in there somewhere. Gonna pick him off with my scout before getting closer. I also have a hostage rescue, a yellow stash, and a pseudo-giant lurking around. So we starting off busy on this one. There he is. I like how this controller model looks a lot more than the other one. I didn't even realize it was a controller at first. Okay, that's one problem down. Now maybe if I climb up top, I'll be safe from the giant stomp. Nope, this has actually made it a lot worse. I'm still getting hit either way, and he kept running behind the tower out of my sight while stomping me. I finally concede to his games and go back down the ladder to put an end to it. At the top of the stair boss, it appears it's a freedomer holding a duty bro hostage. I wasn't entirely sure if I could rescue him without consequence, but it's pretty funny that I can. Dude wants to go to Yantar, but that's too far of a run for just 7k, my guy. Find another chump. Right, almost forgot there was a yellow stash here. Appears to be inside the building. I've been looking forward to having more complex interiors to explore, and these two zones, Jupiter and Zaton, seem to have quite a few. In the last video, I realized maybe I'm just not giving these areas a good enough try. Again, I lived in the southern region for dozens of hours of gameplay. It's only fair I live in these zones too, right? Nothing too crazy for a yellow stash, but hey, more tools, so I suppose that's good. Should probably just start turning in all my excess at this point, huh? I decided to continue exploring the building for the fun of it, get a nice view at the top, but really there wasn't much of a reason to do so. Back at the bottom, I've grown hungry from all that parkour and began to make my way towards the train station. At least the views are still good. There's a stash around this platform somewhere, but my spidey sense begins to tingle as I peek around. These fuckers got me with the clever girl tactic. Didn't scout that very well at all. After running back, I draw them out, but one of them seems to just nope out of there. I spent a while cautiously circling, but homie really did just dip out and give up. Took me a minute to find this damn stash. I checked the bathroom and can't seem to find it. Go down the ladder, which turns out to be a small room, and still can't find it. What the hell? Oh, didn't notice I had to go elbow deep in the shitter. Wasn't even worth it. I arrive at the station just in time to avoid an emission and hit the stash for the usual upkeep, you know. A few of my primary's components are degrading, so I just swap them out real quick with some clean ones. I turn in a few fetch quests with autocomplete tasks, craft the Type D weapon repair kit, and fix up this mutant that I found a while back. It doesn't have a laser, but still looks pretty sweet, and I'm all about the rule of cool. After some quick med and ammo crafting action, it's time to sleep until morning and see which rifle I like more. There's some monolith to the northwest in need of a good shooting, so that should be the perfect test. I embark with a double rifle loadout and decide to bring the DVL along since it seems silly to bring the Scout with these two rifles. Maybe I judged the DVL too harshly as well. While climbing all over the structure to check for anything interesting, I eventually spot a couple of synfucks roaming around just below me. Alright, you dirty shielded freaks. Easy pickings. Aw, fuck. While scampering around to heal and reposition, looking over the side of the building reveals a herd of snorks migrating to the Great Valley. This seems excessive, especially by now with the population factor normalized. My dude refuses to gently stand on the guardrail, and things get worse real fast. I kinda gave up once I foul, really. After a long sprint back, I catch the Sin going the other direction this time, but I'm gonna wait to see if they all aggro each other. Looks like the Snorks got pissed off at something else instead. This mutant seems pretty good, liking how it feels so far and will likely use it as a replacement rifle. It does have this funny animation where every time you switch from it, you do this little stride as if you're running, but it's not a big deal. At least its actual running animation doesn't block half the screen. Picking off the Sin seems to have aggroed the monolith I came here to kill, so that's nice. They just run at me begging for a swift death. During the fight, I wanted to make sure the Snorks didn't leave, as I do want to kill them. Maybe I can instigate a fight with the remaining monolith. The Snorks instead decide to just funnel up towards me while a Monolith Legend comes out to cheap shot me in the ass. We have a much longer fight than I expect. I'm out of APs and he's seemingly laughing at both of my rifles' FMJs. With them taken care of, it's time to finish the remaining monolith forces in the tunnel. Wow, all that was only worth 6,000 rubles. I'm struggling to understand the default economy at this stage of the game, but nope, happy thoughts today. Despite finishing the task, I run into the tunnel just to see if there's anything cool going on, but really it's just another empty structure. It does look like it goes further in, but I have no real reason to check it out, so I just leave it. That legend had an exosuit, but it doesn't look too crazy. I've still yet to find a sick-ass exoskeleton. On my return trip, I see a Freedomer struggling against some dogs in the distance, so I lend a hand. The tasks are just so spread out here. Haven't been to the science outpost yet. There's a technician there, but I guess that doesn't really matter much since they all have similar inventories anyways. Oh fuck. Damn it, sometimes I just completely forget the politics of the zone. Wasn't expecting enemies here. Damn mercs. I start to run back, not really expecting anything since I just did this, but this time these fucking dogs are on me. I swear they just spawned on me. Also, I know I should just immediately run away instead of jumping and shooting like an idiot, but oftentimes once I get surrounded like this, I tend to just give up and accept that it's run back time. The mutant seems to have another issue where the unjam animation won't play if you press to reload before it finishes. I didn't notice that in this moment, but it comes up again later. At least this time I actually saw the dogs on the train tracks ahead of me. Think I'll just stop at the station and pick my shotgun back up. The mutant will take my primary rifle slot. I craft some ammo for it and slap on this scope sight combo deal, though I've grown so accustomed to free zooming all the time that I actually kind of dislike that I can't with the side mount. But oh well, we living with this expensive decision. Hopefully I'll just get used to it. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already subscribed, then why not click that button like you mean it? Teach that like button who's boss too while you're at it. Consider supporting the channel through the join button, become a part of the community Discord, and follow me over on Twitch. I'm still working out how I want to handle streaming. I started a vanilla Shadow of Chernobyl playthrough and uploaded that full stream plus a condensed version last week. It allowed me to get a bit ahead on this main Gamma series, but let me know if that kind of content flow is something you're interested in. I'm looking for feedback. Anyways, I guess I'll just start doing some stash runs. Haven't really bothered with them too much up here. So I began my trek to the southeast and, yeah. Listen, I'm giving these zones a fair shake. I really am trying. But they are so absolutely full of nothing happening that it's so hard to just brush off and ignore. The lulls in combat in the southern regions have this nice rhythm that I've proudly bragged about ebbing and flowing between intense action or horror. It felt so expertly tuned, allowing you just enough time to get lured back into a false sense of security during the traversal moments that were often peaceful and full of that somber beauty we all love. Jupiter and Zaton just do not have that, like, at all. I spend so much time desperately waiting for something, anything to happen, that I'm no longer on a roller coaster of ups and downs. Instead, it's this flat line of holding W to the next mark that won't give me enough of a reward to justify the time or resource cost it took to get there. As a result, I'm not on edge. There's no underlying tension as to when or where the next threat is lurking. I'm just sprinting through what sometimes feels like a pre-alpha geometry test. These areas just don't feel like the same game. I don't know, maybe I'm playing it wrong and these zones are meant to be passed through and nothing more, but yeah. This series started off based on sharing my thoughts and experiences in the zone, and it will continue to be just that. Anything else would be disingenuous to you. Anyways, let's refocus on remaining positive. I'm not sure what my next move should be. I'm kind of just trying to make some money to upgrade all my stuff and buy enough supplies so I can head into the neighboring zones. Seems like no matter how efficient I am up here, the pay doesn't really justify the ammo cost of these tasks, but I don't want to run all the way back down south. Is that what I'm expected to do? Farm the south whenever I need money? I really don't know, but let's just stick to exploring these zones for today though. I really want to give them a full chance and see if they get a little better. Figure I'll check out this building I'm climbing over and oh shit, unexpected sin. Totally my fault for such a lousy approach, but it had been about 30 minutes of wandering the void and my brain was just checked out. It's around this time that I decide to start spamming save. I've refrained through most of this playthrough, but the runbacks at this point are just insane. With the proper engagement, they go down without too much trouble. The building seems to have a sewer system access point in the back as well. Seems pretty cool. I roam around it for a while looking for anything cool or loose loot, but there's really not much. So back out and onward we go. There's a marked target just up ahead, but first I spot this dead dog, and I always like coming across corpses out in the open. After clearing the immediate surroundings, you kind of go into this Witcher mode of trying to solve what happened. Let's see what else is around here. Oh look, a dead zombie. Perhaps he shot the dog, and oh look, a dead bandit not far from the zombie. Doesn't appear to be anything else around though. Did they kill each other? Or perhaps there's still another that tore through all three of them and is nowhere to be found. Was it actually a mutant vampire that's trying to secretly integrate into society at the nearby outpost, and I've just stumbled upon his latest victims? Who's to say? Looks like my target is in this shipping container storage yard ahead. Appears to be bandit controlled too. I approach cautiously, trying to clear my corners. This place looks like enemies could be hiding out everywhere, and I don't want to get caught in a dumb situation because I got impatient. Well, as I skirt the outside, that goes out the window, as it usually does. I already know the nearest sheltered building is likely going to be full of every enemy in the area by now, but honestly, I think my mark was already there anyways. So long as I can put them down quickly, this will all work out for the better. Luckily, shooting bandits is pretty painless, and they go down to my steel-barreled sword of vengeance without much of a fight. Time to relieve them of their possessions and wait out the emission. I sit on top of the building for a good while, admiring the post-emission storm as I hadn't for a while, and scanning my map, trying to chart my path. Turns out I brooded up there for so long the sun came back out. Guess it's time to go rip off the black suit in a battle tower somewhere now. Deciding to just check out more of this side of the map while heading back to the station, I come across a couple snorky boys auditioning for Morbius 2. I started hearing the telltale signs of a controller, but I couldn't really react fast enough to get out of harm's way. Not gonna let him get away with that, of course, so it's DVL time. My arm's injured and a bit shaky, but he goes down no problem nonetheless. I briefly scout the area. Looks like I just discovered an extract on reserve. Seems like the rads are pretty spicy here though. No real reason to keep going further in. For a moment I consider picking a fight at the science outpost with those merc bastards, but nah, with no APs I'm gonna just burn through a bunch of ammo I can't afford. There's a couple tasks I guess I forgot to accept earlier, so I get them completed real quick before a quick protein hit and I'm on my way out again. These zombie marks definitely cost me more than they were worth. Shouldn't have used a DVL for this. I briefly scout another area I've yet to see over here. Looks like a ruined neighborhood. There's some more spicy rads, plus nothing is really catching my eye, so I guess I'll just move on. Might as well check out the bottom of this area I was at earlier. It's not too far of a run from where I was. But again, nothing too exciting. Guess I'll just head east and make way for Zaton now. This lone monolith seems to have aggroed onto me from miles away. I had been getting a lot of spam on the Stalker network about having a bounty on my head, wondering if that's related. I check all sight lines, but no, he really was alone. It just seemed like an odd encounter the way he ran up. There's a giant across the way here, and I'm always testing to see just how many bullets it takes to drop one of these fuckers. Yeah, I know, use explosives, but I have the DVL on me, so let's test it. $10 bullets total. I'm not sure what the giant parts are worth, but seems like an expensive ass kill. Looks like a master monolith and his wingman got caught out here between a couple of snorks and a pseudo-giant. What a fucked up way to go, huh? There's a stash back at that little construction pop-up camp. Might as well hit that up before heading to Zaton. I'm beginning to think I should up the drop rates of stashes and ammo. Perhaps for my own sanity's sake. That professional loner out there looks like he's lost in thought in the middle of an electric anomaly field. Let's go check up on the dude and see how he's doing. Oh hey, he'll actually follow me. First rank higher than a trainee I've seen wanting to join me. I usually prefer to play solo, but let's give Homer here a chance. Can't do any worse than discount Walter White did, right? Cautiously, I continue to head into Zaton. Don't want a random controller in a bush to kill me for daring to move so fast. So I really like this bridge. Didn't notice you could climb up on top of it before either. If nothing else, at least this all still looks great, right? Hard to complain about the view. There's a stash at this complex we can grab before heading over to Rivet City for a task run. I was expecting some resistance here, but seems quiet. Upon arrival, I was disappointed to see how little tasks there were available here. It just seems so starved of things to do around these parts. But happy thoughts. Got a bounty mark to the north, and man, at least this golden glow is amazing. Look at this approach to the fight. The light spilling over the dark of the hill, the sun in our eyes, and the crimson spray as I spill the blood of our enemies. True peace. I try my best to not kill my bro as he's being mauled to death by a dog, and take out a few fleshes with my DVL. Nighttime is fast approaching, and I think I have enough money for the final electronics book, so let's go craft us some new nods. After saving up so many mats all this time, I have plenty for the new nods and a detector, no problem, both of which look awfully sweet, I must say. I blow the rest of my money on ammo, upgrade my Kevlar keychain to its final form, swap to DVL for my trusty scout, and head out into the darkness. There's a stash at that dredge to the east, then some more to the far west. Nothing else really going on here, not in the mood to deal with the Mirage task that stands in between me and Rogue's task, so a stash run will have to do tonight. So I run over there, left with only my thoughts, and begin trying to find this damn stash. It definitely doesn't help that it's dark, but I look for far too much time for this damn thing and begin to get quite annoyed. That's okay, let's just think this through. There's an artifact I remember seeing that makes stashes glow or something. Let's roll back to town and bring it along. That's using my brain for once. So I pick up the artifact and return, still unable to find it in the dark. The damn artifact doesn't even seem to work, as items aren't emitting any sort of light either. After another 5 minutes of angrily fumbling around, I completely give up. Just breathe, maybe it's underground or something. No worries, off to the other ones, only a few kilometers away. Hey, these nods look pretty damn sick though, right? I said it before, but damn, major props to the night vision mod creator. You hit a fucking home run, man. Bravo. So, how are you all doing today? Good, I hope. Sorry I fell behind last week. Really needed to take care of a lot of stuff, and I just didn't have much time to play, let alone write and edit. It also gave me the opportunity to try and get a bit ahead too while I work out a more reliable schedule for the future content. Oh hey look, a poltergeist. Even though it cost me money to kill it, I just want to shoot something. Finally at the building with the stash, I'm half expecting a squad of Sin here since they were the last time, but it's just a lone Unisig wandering around in the dark. He's easily dispatched as my bro distracts him, and I begin scouring the interior for that stash. After a quick once over, I check out the elevator shaft and realize this place has an underground area. That's likely where the stash is. Hell, it's probably where the next ones are too. This bloodsucker was just standing there menacingly, so I put his ass down real quick before deciding I better see what this anomaly does by shoving my face into it real quick. Wasn't really sure what those sparkler fountains did, but now I do. Honestly, I don't feel like wandering around down there again, especially after accidentally wandering into my own death. Think I'll just see if these other two stashes are above ground. This one definitely isn't, but this one is. Let's double check to make sure this artifact doesn't work. Yeah, am I missing something? This artifact seems even more useless than it did before. Well, there isn't much else for me here. Think I'll cut my losses with Zaton and move on already. Jupiter still has some stashes left though. Let's give it one final go. Oh hey, a surprise size sucker. Things and stuff happening. I continue to circle through the south, briefly contemplate attempting Mirage, but I don't know if it's worth it right now. Nighttime and I don't exactly have an abundance of supplies, so I better just skip it. My boy aggro's some Unisig guy from really far away, who I can't tell if I'm missing a ton or if he's just eating my FMJs. Undoubtedly both, I'm sure. He had a Benelli shotgun on him, which I haven't seen yet. It's really similar to my Saiga stat-wise, minus the magazine, but hey, rule of cool. Gonna fix this one up once I'm back. While I was doom scrolling on my walk, this inconsiderate bloodsucker jumped me. He didn't even give me a warning scream or anything. Here I'm realizing I have a real hard time seeing them in these nods. A mixture of the color and my old monitor just makes them really hard to see for me. Also, try to explain this one to me. He runs from left to right and then seemingly appears again on my immediate left. I thought maybe there was two for a moment, but I sat there and looked around and he was alone. Weird, never really seen that before. Reluctantly, I cut across the Merc base, or at least it was the first time I entered the zone, but it appears to be empty. Still on edge the entire time though, don't want to start a huge firefight right now. Back in Jupiter to get stupider, I have a yellow stash to the west, so that's our destination for the remainder of the night. Gonna grab that and head to the hangar for a power nap. It's pretty uneventful. Hasn't been a full day, so I'm not sure if these spawns even reset yet, but at least I now know where to expect things. As I approached the area, I remember seeing a gaggle of snorks, a lurker, and a fracture up here. So I'm already expecting something, and sure enough, there's a bloodsucker. They're not doing their roar as often, it seems, which is fine. It's more of a jump to have them surprise attack. And damn, I really do have a hard time seeing them clearly with these new nods. I love the look, but I may need to check out changing it. With that stash claimed, it's back to the hangar. After a decent night's sleep, some mini wheats, and checking the task board, I decide I want to repair that new shotgun, so I craft some meds and a weapon kit. Something strange happened with this kit though, and I only noticed it in post. It should have 3 charges, and all I used it for was replacing the barrel of the shotgun, but the whole kit disappeared. I got robbed. A new task sent me back towards the cement factory. Well, 2 actually. A hunt mark and a bounty, but as usual en route to it, one gets completed. Looks like it was on the bounty. Must mean a strong mutant is the hunt mark. There is one of these dark orby boys here, but that doesn't seem to be it. An emission forces me inside the building where I'm hearing a sucker run around. Can't quite get eyes on him though. Our boy Homer chases him around outside and managed to slay him in time not to die to the emission. This has been the best companion I've had so far. I guess it's not surprising since the trainees were nearly useless. Feels like I haven't had many post-emission outings lately, so this is a welcome sight. I truly love this atmosphere. This fight on the road just looks so good. Despite my criticisms, it's moments like these where that immersion just kicks your ass. I did have this unfortunate lag spike though, but that's a hardware issue. Looks like those bandits jumped a monolith fighting a chimera, or vice versa, I guess. I continue taking the long road south. Haven't seen what's behind these buildings yet. Hopefully the stashes aren't underground or something. This Psydog is one sneaky breaky. He actually fooled my ass. I thought that last one was the real thing. After my usual panic jumping ready to accept death, I instead lived. So I guess I gotta heal up now. This monolith group seems like it came out of nowhere and were again just aggroed onto me in full sprint. Their AI even seemed like it was broken from having such a hard-on for me. Again, I'm gonna assume these are the hit squads the Stalker network keeps warning me about. If I didn't have the companion, they would have gotten a much better jump on me, partly why I prefer playing solo instead. They may have actually assassinated my ass without him. This is also where I realized the mutant has an issue where the unjam animation will interrupt if you spam it. While searching this building for a yellow stash, a Psystorm hits. Feels like I haven't seen one of these in a while either. More expert tools. Wasn't sure those could spawn in Jupiter. There's another stash on the opposite side of this complex, but of course there's no straight path there. Damn barriers, time to run all the way around. It's funny, even now every time I spot a zombie, there's a moment of doubt as I process if the identifier pops up or not. This stash is in an electric anomaly field, perfect time to test out my shiny new detector. Love how I can see the locations of them. Maybe now I'll actually try putting in real artifact hunting effort. This stash had a loner exosuit. They seem to be more common at least. Still waiting for a sick-ass one though. After yet another long, uneventful run back to the hangar, I decide to look at artifact melting. I really don't have many crafting or merging options though. The thing that may be useful, I guess, is the meat chunk. Better ballistic resist, but I'll probably bleed out all over the floor instead. Either way, I guess I might as well try it out for once. So I craft it up and add a spare belt slot to my suit. With that, however, today's journey comes to an end, my friends. This was a lot of footage of Jupiter and Zaton. I really tried giving them an honest, solid chance. But after 7 hours of 90% walking simulator, I've accepted to just move on. I think these are basically darkscape and meadow areas. You pass through them once and ignore them forevermore. At least that's certainly how I'm going to play from now on. Next time we're going to farm some easy money and hit up the neighboring zones I've yet to see. Hopefully those are bangers. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you still enjoy these. Be sure to click the shit out of the subscribe, like, and share buttons. Maybe even the join button too if you're feeling particularly generous. Come join the community Discord and say hi. Follow me on Twitch and, yeah, go have a good day or something.